and today is day 14 of the Israeli strike on Hamas after that fateful terrorist attack on October 7th by the Hamas terrorists against Israelis. I'm going to draw for you a picture of where all the battlegrounds have been created along the borders of Israel, because while there is one primary war that is being fought by the Israeli Defense Forces against Hamas on the Gaza Strip, the neighboring areas, the borders of Israel on northern side at Golan Heights, that is attached to Lebanon and Syria, while there are also splinter groups that at this point of time are in Jordan, which is attached to the West Bank, which has always been in turmoil. There is also some airstrikes that have been intercepted by the US battleships, US warships that comes in from the Houthi terrorists all the way from Yemen down south of Israel. So quickly taking a look at my touchpad here, and we'll go point by point, map by map, where all the war of Israel has now spread into. This is the map of the Gaza Strip. Now this rectangular Gaza Strip that is surrounded by the Mediterranean Sea on the left hand side, on the east side, is what we witness are the areas where there have been airstrikes, there has been heavy bombardment of rockets and missiles that have hit both inside of Israel and the other side of the Gaza Strip. Now, amidst these important locations where the bombardment of Gaza has happened by the Israeli Defense Forces is top north, which is Beth Hanun, there is Jabalia, there is Gaza City, there is Burej, there is Nusayrat, there is Al-Musadar, there is Wadi Al-Asalka, Al-Karara, there is Khan Yunis and Rafah. Khan Yunis and Rafah, particularly these crossing areas that at this point of time have been choked by the Israeli Defense Forces, not allowing for any medical supplies or essentials to be sent into Gaza City for the people, for the civilians, Palestinian civilians. I'm going to take you through the second map that I want to bring to your notice, and this is the northern front where Israel is escalating the war against Hezbollah. Now here you see the location pin Damascus, and right next to Damascus, just a few hundred kilometers away, is Aleppo airport. So these were the two airports that had been bombarded by the Israelis through the airstrikes, because they were wanting to stop any sorts of arms, ammunition to travel from Iran, from Iraq into Lebanon, that would then allow for escalation of war from the Hezbollah side into Israel, into Golan Heights. There have already been stray instances of airstrikes that have been witnessed on the northern side. If you take a look at other parts of, this is one location over here in northern Israel, which is called Kiryat Shemona. Kiryat Shemona is a kibbutz which has been evacuated today after there were siren calls that had been made by the Israeli Defense Forces, because the war at this time is also escalating in this part of the region. There's then other areas where there is expectation of a strike, of an airstrike, of combat, is Metula, there is Shitula, Malkia, Naharia, Nakara. Quickly taking a look at slide number 3. And here we take a look at the Israel-Hamas war. This is on the Gaza Strip again. And we take a look at the Israeli troop mobilization. And if you take a look at the map on the left-hand side, now this is Beersheba, which is close to Jerusalem, and then goes further away to to the Mediterranean Sea, which is along the Gaza Strip, and this is where the tensions have escalated. And this is particularly on the northern side of Gaza is where you see this troop mobilization. These miniature stationary objects that you see over here are actually tanks and other military convoys that have been strategically placed by the Israeli Defense Forces to get into action, get into combat at a moment's notice. The fourth slide that I want to show you is another attack that has come from the Yemeni side. The Houthi terrorists that have also gathered themselves and their arms and ammunition to try to attack Israel from down south. And what the US warships have indicated as per their intel and their satellite imagery information is that they were able to intercept these missiles. Two of them that were heading all the way to Israel were intercepted by the US warships, and thereby an attack on Israel from the southern end from Yemen Houthis was aborted. I'll take you through another piece of information, and this will give you a clearer picture of what the Israeli Defense Forces are after. This map actually is the Gaza Strip, the 60-kilometer Gaza Strip, and these circular tunnels that you see, these lines that you see are actually tunnels. These are the underground tunnels that are used extensively by the Hamas terrorists to send out their terrorists, and these were amongst the most of the tunnels that were used during the October 7th attack, where terrorists entered into the territory of Israel and destroyed the cities. They ended up massacring people. You know, it was a bloodbath on the streets, and these were the tunnels that were utilized. And the idea behind the Israeli armed forces to ask for evacuation of the Palestinians, the large percentage of them actually live on the northern side of Gaza, which is called the Gaza City. That's the maximum concentration of civilian population living on the Gaza Strip. They have been asked to vacate this area as soon as possible, because then there is going to be military escalation, and therefore the military troops of the IDF have been put on standby. And these are the tunnels in northern Gaza, central Gaza, just a few of them over there, and then on the southern strip of Gaza, which is where there is the Rafah Egyptian crossing as well. Quickly taking you through, we took a look at the Hamas tunnels. Let's quickly take a look at the number of hospitals at this point in time that are located in various parts of Gaza Strip, and this is where the unfortunate Gaza hospital blast took place, the Al-Ahli Baptist Hospital, where it is being reported some 500 people, including children and babies, lost their lives. This was on the right hand side, top right of your screen, is actually the blast that took place at the parking spot. What the reports are saying that the maximum constant intensity of the blast was in fact at the parking spot, and this is a larger bird's eye view of the site of the explosion when this explosion happened. Obviously, contention at this point whether this was an airstrike of the IDF or a misfiring from the Hamas side. All right, quickly taking a look at. Okay, now these are the coordinates of the 9 hospitals that Gaza has, and whether they are able to equip themselves with the number of casualties and fatalities that they are facing on a daily basis in this 14 days is something of a concern for the United Nations, for the Red Cross Society as well. A number of these Gaza hospital closures, and if you see the maximum number of them, Al-Shifa, Al-Afda, Beit Hanun, Al-Quds, Al-Ahli, and Al-Dura hospitals. Al-Ahli also in the northern side of Gaza Strip. All these hospitals are located over here. Many of them have stopped functioning because they have lack of medical supplies. One of them has been bombed. Several others are bombarded. They are just overflowing with casualties, injured people, and they're finding it difficult to hold the fort. Then we take a look at the rest of the Gaza Strip on central and south Gaza, where you have the Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital, European Gaza Kuwaiti Hospital. So this is the situation in terms of if the hospitals, doctors, medical staff in Gaza are equipped enough, if really they are equipped enough to handle the casualties of the war. Finally, bringing you this map of Gaza, and why this map of Gaza is important is because this is where the targeted strikes of the IDF are very rapidly going to happen in. On the left hand side of the map is again the Gaza Strip. It's divided into North, Central and South Gaza, and I'm going to zoom this for you over here. And if you see the Gaza Strip, and on the northern side of Gaza is where the Gaza city is. This is the area which has been populated, which is maximum populated, most populated area of the region. And this is where the IDF has been putting out posters and airdropping pamphlets asking people to vacate. So the people, civilians, will have to vacate all the way from Gaza city, and they will have to travel 60 kilometers down south into Egypt. But that's also a point of contest, because Egypt refuses to take these refugees into their territory. And on the left and on the right hand side, again, the mention of the area of evacuation. These are the two main roads which are used for evacuation. It's called the Salah al-Din and Wadi Ghazi. Salah al-Din is going to be used for the Palestinian civilians to travel all the way down south up until the Rafah crossing.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.